Alright, testing a new camera. Yay! Yeah, another $7 camera. Really very nice. Samsung this time, and gotta concede this is, I think, the best camera I've seen for the vlogging type person. It's got this little rotating lens. Look at it, I can rotate it. Yeah, that's pretty cool, I have to concede. Yeah. Pretty cool. Yeah, so that works because now you can still see yourself, or you can not see yourself, or you can choose to whatever. And what the hell was that? The bear over there, or something. Yeah, that shed. I'll let you see the shed. Oh God, that was horrible. That is a shed. Yes. Yeah. What the hell is that? Oh, it's oil tank or something. Yeah, somebody's really old junk, but oh man, what a mess I got to clean up here. That's how my life is, cleaning up messes. Some of them are my own creation. Oh, somebody left this shed door open. Somebody. We won't name anybody in particular. Yeah, that's problematic. Anyway, video. Oh, I'm making a video. Christmas Eve and such. Yeah. Yeah, it's really nice back here. This little red thing over there. I wonder what that is. Well, ain't gonna worry about it today. Trees falling down though. Anyway, yeah, Fred and Puro have both made videos. Somebody else, I think, oh yeah, Professor Anton. Some sombrero stuff, blah blah blah. Puro did the relativism thing. So I guess I'm just gonna argue that you know, these kind of conversations are great, but they sort of they should be segregated in a way from anything that means anything. You know, these conversations about what is matter really, and are we relating to matter or are we relating to energy? I mean, is there particles that make this thing up, something actual, or is it just a relationship of forces that we call the universe or stuff? And but all that, who cares? I mean, the bigger question is, how did we get here? And we know that. And that's through that nasty evolution thing. Competitive selection. You know, beat the shit out of the other guy to win a stupid race that should never be run. And yeah, okay, it's dismal and depressing, but I mean, it's the truth. And that's got to be the context for conversations about this irrelevancy of what exactly are we? Are we matter, or are we energy? Are we some other thing mutated through time? I mean, you know, there's cells on my nose right here that could be Cleopatra's nipples. I mean, you know, it's just that's the truth. There's atoms. It might have been in, you know, Cleopatra's vagina. You know, right there on my nose. They're just sitting there waiting. Yeah, I mean, that's the way this works. It's all swirling about, zillions and gazillions, and you can't even add up all the crap it's made out of. There's so much stuff. There's so many bits, so many definable, separate pieces of whatever it is. But again, I don't even see what the point of... I mean, I see a point in having the conversation, because it's always going to come up, because everybody wants to know the answer. You know, how did we get here? What are we? What? And so they want this blueprint of the physical force, the mechanism that made it roll and keeps it rolling. And so I concede, yeah, that people have curiosity. But again, I want to just emphasize that these conversations should take place with the realization that any other conversation that doesn't have something to do with figuring out what the hell we are, you know, whether we have any standing to be playing the game, to be doing what we're doing in the world, to be playing. I mean, you know, we got this. It's like there's a real thing happening with real animals, like rats in a maze, and it's sitting there on the shelf, and it seems like the scientists are all sitting there playing with marbles, and you're just saying, what are you doing? You got this maze thing to friggin' manage. You got to feed those babies, or you got to do something about that. You can't just let them fend for themselves, you know, and turn into natural selection. You know, that's bullshit. You got to do better than that. So, I mean, all this stuff seems to me to be a distraction from the shit that we should be talking about, which is how do we knock any kind of fucking rationality into the brain of the human race? You know, that's the conversation that needs to take place. But anyway, getting back to deer shit. Yeah, cool. Getting back to the real subject, kind of pellets, deer pellets. Yeah, there's so many ways to metaphor it or model it. And the thing that's irritating about Pierrot is he keeps wanting to separate us from the thing. Like all the things are just a relationship and our perspective. And because that's to the advantage of these relativists who always want an out, who always want a way to fudge reality when it doesn't go the way they want it to. That's all I see it as, is an excuse to break something down into, well, let's talk about how old the tree is, not whether the tree is going to fall in the house or not. It's just irritating. So where was I going with this? Yeah. But the point is, when we're modeling, you know, when we're saying, okay, it's blue, little thingy there, little fake stovey thing, and you know, it was bought at Kmart or whatever, and blah blah blah. We can define it and describe it and get enough of it, represent it well enough in the model that matters, the model where we run it through and see how it impacts, you know, sentient life on Earth. We can do that. And we don't need to know everything about it. Just see, this is life, right? What the fuck? What the fuck? I'm just standing here walking, and there, what? There's the maze game. This is what it does. This is the game you're playing. All right, that's it right there. That's the game. That's it. You know, fuck it, shit game. You know, whatever. This is stupid. And here you are fucking talking about, well, I feel a little bit ookily-pookily and ickity-bickity. I mean, you're baby talking in the context of this shit. And it's just bullshit. But anyway, so continuing with the nonsense talk. I mean, it is a conversation I like having, just because, yeah, this physics stuff is sort of interesting. Is this stuff, I mean, is it real, or is it Memorex, or is it, what is it? What the hell is this? We know something like a planet. Okay, there, it feels like it's really hard. It's a thing. It's a very thingy, you know. It's got a real thingness to it. But yeah, it's just made up of this mostly empty space stuff with these bits flying about. But these people who want to say everything's a wave or energy or some other kind of ambiguous term, I mean, it really doesn't matter. I mean, the point is if you froze it, you know, you just froze it all. Just froze it. Everything just stayed right where it is right now. Right? It would still have a substance. I mean, it's in a place. It's in a place in time. Whether it's a wave or whether it's a particle, who cares? It's a disturbance. There's a difference between a something and a nothing. And the something is doing is making this stuff. And the nothing is the space between the stuffing. And so, I was thinking, though, there's so many ways to try to model it in the brain. Oh, I hope that's not from me. People. I don't believe so. Anyway, there's so many ways to model it. But I was thinking about if you know, say the Big Bang is correct, that there was some sort of initial whatever. Part of me argues that all the little bits would all be in the same place, and if there was an instantaneous expansion, they'd all expand at the same rate, and so nothing would ever stick to anything, nothing would ever impact anything. Everything would just go bigger. Everything would just expand. And there'd be no swirling about, and gravity and all this other crap would have no influence, because everything would be moving away from everything else very quickly, and there'd be no time for interaction. It'd be too late. you'd be too far away before you could even have a possibility of it. You need to hit something for there to start having ricochets and to start having something moves faster than something else and all that kind of crap. And so that part that hasn't really been properly explained to my satisfaction. But I was thinking that the whole thing was like elastic. Like every bit had a string tied to it, an elastic string. And every interaction is sort of in its memory because the string is caught in a zillion little relationships. And all the movement is just that elastic pulling back. So we're not seeing the initiation, we're seeing the recontraction or something like that. Based on where things have been. But that's just, you can just speculate forever on this kind of bullshit. And I just don't want it applied, though. Now, that's the part that irritates me, is they want to apply it to our circumstance. And we know how we got here. We got here through crude forces. Okay, the mere fact that matter can stick to itself, and that it's finally stuck to itself in a way that created a replicating cell. And as far as we know, it's the only way to create one of these replicators so far that we know of in the entire universe is through an evolving replicator, a DNA molecule and a cellular membrane. That's the only example we have of it in all the universe that we've ever looked at. And as far as we know, it only happened once. It's all we have evidence of. One single time that one of these replicators got set loose. And this is what they do in a fixed environment over billions of years if they're unharassed by, truly catastrophic disturbance, energy release. And if they have enough time, in other words, they can do this. But this might be in itself incredibly, like you could run the experiment a zillion times and you're not going to come up with something that's going to be talking to an electronic device, about how it got here. So even though you have a replicator, the fact you have a replicator that's doing the intelligence thing, the consciousness thing, all this bullshit, it might be incredibly unlikely. But anyway, I guess my point of my video is I don't like the angle of the conversation. So I'm just going to throw in my 2 cents that the real question that has to be dealt with first and foremost is the question we already have an answer to, which is, what are we doing? And what we're doing is satisfying the mission statement of a dumb piece of chemistry. And we're doing it, I'd argue, because of the fact that we won't have the conversation, that we won't deal with it, that we're doing it willfully, in a wasteful manner. We're squandering buckets and buckets of valuable suffering so we can have these irrelevant conversations that merely satisfy a little bit of our ego intellectualism and make us feel like we're smart or clever, and that's it. And it's not an acceptable price, and it's all a big pile of shit. Yeah, so I'm just going to throw that in. Pleasant enough day, a little nippy, but yeah. But good, it really isn't bad for Christmas and such. An outdoor bathroom. It's called an outhouse. Yeah, kind of just a funny arrangement of old stuff. Anyway, I'm done. Anyway, test of the camera. First video with this camera. It's got a couple of different things I have to try and such, but I like it, generally speaking. Yeah, I do. It's light and small and feature rich. It has a little touch screen, which is nice. It's not much, they don't give you anything to really do on there except on and off, but You can touch screen it, which is cool. Have to concede. It's good technology. Anyway, till the next time, and such, and so forth, and whatnot.